All right, thanks, Shauna. And those hats, another reason that you should be here in person at CloudWorld with us next year. We are now joined by Sue Hartford, the Director of Product Marketing for Microsoft, as well as John Rogers, he's the Chief Information Security Officer. We were just talking about security with Mahesh for MSCI.
MSCI.
What did I say?
You swapped.
MSCI.
Okay. That's why I'm
which
here.
stands for?
Doesn't stand for anything.
It stands for MSCI.
Say it right, darn it. How are you both doing today?
Doing good.
Good, thank you.
Good, great. Well, can you, since it doesn't stand for anything, you can tell us what the company does. What does MSCI do?
So it used to be part of Morgan Stanley, so that's technically what the MS used to stand for, but we're no longer part of Morgan Stanley.
Got it.
A lot of people get us confused. I think that's maybe where we should start. MSCI is a data company, so we operate in the financial services space. So our customers are big banks, hedge funds, all of the folks that are doing investments in the financial services sector. And what we do is we provide data and content for them to make more informed decisions. So we run a lot of critical services that run for the banks of the world, basically.
Wow.
Sounds very important.
Very important. And we'll dive into how you kind of overcome some of the challenges that come with doing that. But first, hi Sue, thank you so much for joining us. Quickly, last year we announced our partnership, Oracle and Microsoft's partnership, but can you give anybody who maybe doesn't know much about it a quick overview of it?
You bet, yeah, thanks for having me. So a year ago, Larry and Satya got together and announced a kind of first of its kind partnership in the multi-cloud world where we announced Oracle Database at Azure. So this is where we're actually running the database services from OCI inside of our Azure data centers. And this is really helping customers that rely on their Oracle databases, but they're also relying on Azure for a lot of their workloads to just really kind of bring those two together and get the best of both worlds.
So again, like you just said, we announced this last year. What progress have we made over the past year? What kind of new features, new innovation, new capabilities have progressed?
Yeah, it's been an exciting year. We announced this week we now have 6 regions live, but we also have a lot more planned. We have 21 total that are coming, as well as another 10 or so just DR-only regions. So it's going to have a massive global footprint, and that's directly in response to where our customers are asking us to build these services together. We've also, brought the Exadata database service and the autonomous database service now, so that customers can bring those workloads over either in a fully managed or manage it themselves kind of model. But we're not stopping there. Like, customers want to innovate on top of that, and so we're doing integration, for example, with our Microsoft Sentinel, which is our security platform for SIEM. And then most importantly, data and AI, right? Because that world, data is the foundation on which AI is built. And so we announced integration with Microsoft Fabric, which is a wonderful platform that brings all of your data sources together so that you can do your analytics, you can access Power BI, you can access Copilot. It's something that Microsoft customers are embracing, and we're excited to bring the Oracle Database at Azure together with that.
And that's one of the great benefits of this multi-cloud world is, whatever services you want, you should be able to get them where you want.
Yeah.
So what are some of the business challenges, though, that Oracle Database at Azure is addressing?
Well, I think customers were, struggling a little bit. These things have been built on-prem, and these are very serious mission-critical workloads. You don't just kind of pick those up and move those around every day. And so it was kind of complex, to accomplish this before. And so this has really made that easier, where, our technical teams have gotten together and engineered this solution, really invented a new type of solution by merging our clouds together.
Fabulous.
Now, John, what are some of the challenges MSCI faces? Like we just said, you service some of the biggest banks and hedge funds in the world, and so what challenges come with that? And then we're going to get into how this particular partnership maybe helps address those.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, look, we're mission critical, right? As we were saying,
exactly.
It's really important for us from an availability perspective, from a content data perspective, to have our systems up and running and services available for our customers. So the big reason I'm here is to focus on cyber resilience, is what we call it, right? Preparing for the worst case in a cyber attack can happen, a ransomware, what have you. A lot of the work that my team and I are doing in the space with the partnership with the Oracle Database at Azure is actually helping us to prepare for those sort of worst case scenarios. And it's also enabling us to actually move a lot of our mission critical services from our on-prem data centers into cloud with more confidence, right? We have a heavy pre-existing relationship with Oracle, obviously through the investments over the years, and a very strong partnership. And same thing with Microsoft. And we don't like to choose. We really want the best of both worlds, and this is sort of why this is so exciting for us.
That's great. So how is Oracle Database at Azure really helping you? You just talked about cyber resilience. Why do you feel confident in this partnership and working with Database at Azure to be able to do that and to be able to overcome the challenges that we're facing? Larry talked about it yesterday. We just had Mahesh, who heads up our security here at Oracle, talking about it. How is this partnership? Why are you confident in this partnership to be able to address that?
Yeah, I mean, look, we actually were not moving some of our workloads into cloud because of some of the issues associated with the database and compute environments working together. There was too much overhead in terms of latency and process and performance. Now we're actually seeing better performance with Oracle Database at Azure than we even saw on-premise in the first place. So we're really excited about where this can go. And from a cyber perspective, a lot of what recovering from a cyber attack is about is being able to quickly get your systems and your data back up and running if in fact the worst case scenario happens. And if you can quickly recover your database, right, if you're running Oracle like we are, and if you can quickly reinstantiate your compute environment in an Azure space with the Azure investment that we've made, you've kind of done both things, right? And that's why I'm here. I think this is so important. A lot of companies sort of pay attention to maybe just focusing on being able to recover their data, only the data, if there's a cyber attack. But a lot of people are paying ransoms not because they couldn't get access to the data, but because they couldn't get their systems and their compute environment up and running fast enough to support their customers. And again, if you're a mission critical service provider to the financial services sector, you really need to be back up and running very quickly. You can't wait days or months or weeks for that resilience.
Right, that's a really, really great example, and also ties into the theme here of security that we've been talking about this week.
And I think this is a global issue. So let's go back. You talked about we have 6 regions available today. I think we're going to bring the service to 15 more regions, as I understand it. Can you share some of the details on how we're going to expand this multi-cloud availability?
Sure, you bet. Yeah, so we've taken an approach to really bring enterprise-grade availability to our regions. And so when we talk about a primary region, it's a multi-zone region, so it allows customers to architect to the Oracle MAA architecture for high availability. So whether you need silver, gold, or even platinum, that you can achieve that. And that's really just based on the feedback we hear from our customer base that says, these are serious workloads, I need to design it exactly that way. So we've taken a very strong approach to delivering that in those primary regions. So we just opened up Australia this week. So they're excited in that part of the world, and we'll be opening up more next month and the month after that. And so we've, in our blog this week, we talked about all 21. If you want to look them up, you can find the list. And then, as I said, for a lot of customers, they also just want that kind of DR region also, like John talked about. And so we've got another 10 or so of those that are coming on board. That's all based on what customers are asking us for. So, it's when we talk to customers, if we're not in your region, let us know, let Oracle know, and we'll respond.
That's great.
We just heard John say, this is why I'm here.
Great.
So obviously very important to customers, but what sort of other feedback are you getting from your customers, from our joint customers in this regard?
Yeah, I think customers are just so excited that we all, Microsoft and Oracle came together and said, we are hearing that you need this, and that we decided to partner and bring this for them. They're very excited about that. I think we're just really watching and learning as we work with them in terms of what features to come that will come next. And so stay tuned. I think there's going to be lots of more exciting announcements coming out.
Well, and John, just to kind of add to that, like, what else would you say when you are one of our initial customers in this, and how have you experienced this? What else would you add to this for customers that are tuning in right now that are considering, using Oracle Database at Azure?
Yeah, I mean, one, I think generally being able to move to the cloud and having another excuse to move to the cloud in a safe and effective way is always going to be better for security. I'm a big proponent that being in the cloud environment actually allows you to be safer and more resilient. Obviously, you have to do it properly, right? So there's work that goes into that, but generally any sort of major transformation is an opportunity for security to be improved as well as resilience. So generally, I'm very supportive of this. And as you mentioned, we have new features and new capabilities that are being added all the time. You mentioned the Sentinel integration. Obviously, we're an Azure Sentinel customer as well, right? We use that service for our security monitoring. So we're expecting more and more of this as we go. The additional regions, all of the support that we have to support our global customers as well will also be helpful to us in the future as well.
So I want to come back to something that you were talking about earlier, and whether it's extending to services like Sentinel or some of the other platforms that Microsoft provides in its cloud. We've been at it for a while now. So what are you finding that differentiates the partnership between Oracle and Microsoft versus other multi-cloud offerings that are out there?
Yeah, I think what we are hearing from our customers is that they are really interested in the full Microsoft cloud. And so that's one of the reasons why you'll see us talking this week, not just about the kind of the infra layer, like the data and the servers together. Like, to me, that's table stakes. But customers are going to the public cloud for agility, for a platform to create innovation. And so there's these layers that we need to keep adding additional innovation around for our customers. And so really anything that you can get in the Microsoft cloud, whether that's Azure, whether that's our security, whether that's our data and AI platform, that the customers want to bring those together. And so I think that is what really differentiates Oracle Database at Azure, is you get the best of that Microsoft cloud with the best of Oracle.
Well, and John, now that MSCI is using Oracle Database at Azure, how are you thinking about future innovation?
I just want to move more and more services into this environment, to be honest, right? I mean, obviously from a security perspective, we're seeing tons of benefits, as well as agility, like you said. It's really important for us to be able to rapidly rebuild if the worst case occurs. But the other thing I was also going to mention is just, we could talk about the performance statistics all day long, but in reality, a lot of what we've done at MSCI is we've been building this environment iteratively. This is the 4th generation of what we call our cyber disaster recovery environment. And the previous iterations were more patchwork systems that were built with lots of different products from different vendors. What I'm really excited about here is 2 very important critical companies that are not startups, right? That we have very established relationships and partnerships with that are going to be around in 2 years, where I might not be able to say that about some of the startup firms that we've worked with in the past. So to me, the partnership side of this is also like really, really important. And again, that's why I'm here.
Yeah, it's great as a customer, MSCI being able to work with both openly and getting us to cooperate and build other services on top of that. It's the walled gardens have come down.
Yes, so thank you very much.
Yes.
Well said.
Sue, how can other customers get started?
Yeah, well, just reach out to either your Microsoft or your Oracle account team, and we are happy to work with you, learn more about your environment, do deep dives into your needs, and design the right solution for you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, John, Sue, thank you so much for coming and joining us on Oracle TV.